Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you, wherever you are in the world. This is AtTechEdu News, the Edtech Files, a place to get ideas about anything EdTech. My name is Richard Poff, and I have a passion for learning. In this episode, I want to share with you an idea where I'm getting the children using their skills on the trackpad. Now, I focused on this in a previous episode of the EdTech Files, but I wanted to develop their skills a little further. One of the teachers spoke to me about developing a project that they were doing in the classroom. Part of this project was financing the funds to buy a bench, a park bench. Now, I thought about this, and what I decided to do was I wanted the kids to design their own bench. And I wanted them to use the application called Sketchup. Now, Sketchup's fantastic for developing and designing different objects or buildings. And I wanted the grade ones to really use the trackpad at its best with the two-finger gestures and zoom in and spinning things round, and I wanted them to be accurate in decorating a bench. So what I did was I found a bench from the warehouse, I downloaded it, and using Google Classroom, I shared the bench with all the students, all the grade 1 students. And from that point, they then needed to decorate this bench. And this is how I did it. So I created this post within Google Classroom, and I attached a file from the SketchUp warehouse of a bench, which you'll see in a second. So when the students come into their classroom, the first thing they do is they click on the bench. That will ask them then to download the file, so they click on download. That will put the file in the corner here. So then they can just click on the file here, and then SketchUp will open. Now, if you haven't opened SketchUp before, then it will come up with an acknowledgement, and you need to go through the acknowledgement. Otherwise, what you can do is just click on Start SketchUp. And there we have it. We can click on this message OK, because this bench has been made in a version previous to the one we've got, so we can click on OK here. And here's the bench. Now, as I say, I didn't develop this bench, I didn't create it, I just took this from the warehouse. So if you want to go and find one of these benches, what you can do is click on Window, you go down to 3D Warehouse here, click on 3D Warehouse. That's going to open up the 3D Warehouse. You can search for park bench in here, search for that, and then you can find lots of different park benches. You click on the bench that you'd like, and then you can download it. All right, so that's how you would do it. You click on the download button, and then you import that into your SketchUp session. But we've done that already. So here's the bench. Now, when you do that as a teacher, what you need to do is make sure that you select the whole bench and then ungroup it. Now, I've done that already. You do need to ungroup the bench. So what I'll do is I'll quickly group this just to show you what I mean. So I'll make that a group. This is how it will appear once you've downloaded it. You can't actually do anything with it now. If you click anywhere, you can't actually do anything. What you can do then is right click on it and then explode. And if you explode it, and then you can see all the individual components of the bench, and then you can start manipulating it. So that's what the teacher would do before you set things up. And then what you would do as a teacher, you would save that and then attach it to your Google Classroom. So as a student, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show them the basic tools. So the first tool I'm going to show is the orbit tool, which allows you to move this around. Now what I'm doing is I'm using the trackpad to orbit this. One of the things I do teach the children when they're using a trackpad is they must use it with two hands. It's unlike a mouse, which you use with one hand. A trackpad works best when you're using it with two hands. So to spin this round, I'm holding the trackpad clicker down and then moving it around with the other finger. So I'm using two hands there. The other tool I can do is pan, which is just the hand tool that allows me to move it left and right, up and down, but it doesn't go through the 3D dimensions. Now the other tool that I wanted them to understand and use was the zoom tool. Now you could, if you wanted to, just click on the zoom tool here, but what I want them to do is understand the zoom on track. Now to do a zoom on the trackpad, you just hold two fingers onto the trackpad, and then you move up and down with your 2 fingers, like so. So they're the 3 gestures that I would recommend teaching the kids: orbit, pan, and then zoom, and using the 2 fingers as a zoom. Then what I wanted the children to do is then start decorating this bench. They can click on the bucket here, and we can choose some colours. So let's start filling in these colours. So I'm just going to change these here. So you can start filling in the colours like that. I could change one of these ones to yellow, and we can have it as if they're painting the bench. But what I also wanted them to do is then use one of the other tools. So this is a rectangle tool at the top here. So I wanted them to place a rectangle into their bench like this. And then you can see here the rectangle has filled these gaps here. Now we don't want those gaps. So we need to click on the arrow icon, and then we can just delete them. So we can click on these. And this is taking a little bit of trackpad control to actually delete these and move them into the right position. Now if they wanted to, they could zoom in a little bit further and then delete them that way. So we can delete these. And then they would need to use the zoom, because then they have to get rid of these lines, and they have to put the arrow pointer directly on the line until it goes blue, as you can see. And we're going to delete these lines like so. So they go through and delete all these different lines. Like so. Then they can zoom back out. Let's pan that over just a little bit, and now what they can do is they can use the bucket to create a better pattern. So we've got a green here, we can put some different colours in here, and they can really start to build their pattern on their bench. So what it's doing is really allowing the kids to utilise their skills with the trackpad using Sketchup. And what I've done is I've sped up the next part of the video in order to show you what it looks like when you finish. Okay, so there is my bench, which you can have a look, and there we go. There's a few bits that are not done, but that's basically get the idea. Thanks for watching. Please click the like button, and please subscribe to this channel for more educational technology videos. Until next time, goodbye.